This is a question that came in. Let's hop on this real quick. What are your thoughts on VA appointment setters? So virtual assistants, international team members, we call them ITMs. What are your thoughts on appointment setters in that role?
We've gone down the route, and what I've been told, we didn't pull the trigger. We've been told that for our industry, or at least similar real estate industries, be very general, people out of the Caribbean or Jamaicans are some of the best point setters for real estate stuff. I don't know. That's where that was the rabbit hole we were going down. But ultimately, we weren't getting. I think when you start doing the setters, you're setting a lot of that first impression out the window. Because if you are Mike or a fast BDM, you don't need that person. You want that first person to maybe even closing on that first call. You shouldn't need that second call, or at least leaving the second call to be the one that's closing because you made such a great first impression. I think the life cycle on our business is very short. I'm sorry, the lead cycle, if someone's primed and ready to go, is really short, and I think you waste an opportunity or potentially put a lot of risk of scaring people away.
Yeah, we do. We use what we call a BDC, business development coordinator, and he's out of Story. He used to work with us here in the States. He's from Spain, came here for school, went back. Anyway, I don't know what we would do without him. I will say there's an added benefit to it. So if you have to change BDMs, then that BDC stays there and retains some of the process and knowledge for the next person to come into. So we recently went through a transition where we had a longtime BDM move on to her next endeavor, and having that business development coordinator to back her up and help the new person get started. The new person had five contracts their first week. So it was very
yeah. So what is that coordinator responsible for?
So they're doing a lot of work. We use Lead Simple as our CRM. They're doing a lot of the work in Lead Simple, making sure that the leads are getting nurtured, following up. They also help with when the business development manager leaves the appointment, the management contracts instantly in that person's inbox. Meanwhile, that BDM might have another appointment they have to run to, making sure they follow up. Hey, did we get all the information that we need for the property fact sheet, for the property intake form, whatever you call it, to make sure that property is set up right? Did we get all the details for the HOA? They're constantly following up on that stuff because they're sitting at a desk all the time. Where the BDM, you want them in people's living rooms. You want them flying all over the place. You want them networking and meeting realtors and brokers and things like that. Yeah, it's good. It's a great support system.
How do you think that's different, Mark, than maybe your market? So in Orlando, it sounds like Mike's saying, man, you've got to meet people in their living rooms and you want them all about. What about in Chicago? Do y'all meet at people's properties all the time?
No, and a lot less lately. And I think the ones that we still end up having to or cater to, I don't know if we ever have to, but if they want it, we will say no, is more of the accidental landlords or the people that are like, I think I want to do this, or I got a 2% interest rate. I never planned on doing this, but I'm exploring. But some of those people will meet in person. But in Chicago, so I would say probably about 10% of the people that sign up, we actually go out there and meet with them in the living room. We have a lot of out-of-state people or people that aren't around. So they're not even in town to meet.
Yeah. So we're like that in Birmingham, a lot of out-of-state investors, but then in our other markets, Denver or Nashville is a lot different. And then maybe Atlanta's a good mix of different things. So good.
I think a lot of what we're talking about today, and there might be a couple of situations where we break it down, is we're a very investor-heavy market, and there's different approaches even on the BDM you use when it comes to investment versus accidental.